And I think we're live.
Well, we were just talking. I'm talking to Richard Pitt. And Richard Pitt, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, was Susan Jackson. Richard and I tried doing a half-hour show where the picture went out last week, but the sound didn't. So
and that was my fault. That's fine.
Well, that's okay. We're just getting this. We're just getting this.
Too many wires. One of these days, I'll put a camera over there. You can see what. This is not a studio.
This is my corner of my living room.
But it works.
Yeah, we have this one big mic that I use that will record anybody in the room. This is actually Tom Allen's mic, isn't it? Yeah. So Richard Pitt, who we're about to talk, has been in this business for as long as I remember. In fact, I just found out something else today, that he's known Susan Jacks since 1969 or something, when he produced the shows or did shows and lighting and so on at the Student Union building at UBC for the Poppy family. So I thought you just met her 4 years ago when you were working together at the other business that we won't name right now. But you've known her forever. So he and his partner Stuart then were the first two people to legitimately produce and provide legitimate commercial internet service provider
to the general public.
Yep. And that's just a fantastic thing.
Well, we've already gone over this. Many times, but
not quite,
yes.
Because we talked about it last week with no sound.
We've talked about it in other interviews and things too.
Oh, I know that.
And
we've done it on Shaw and Rogers. Yeah.
The internet's 14 years old now, as far as most people are concerned.
Started in '69.
No, 14 years old. It's as far as most people are concerned, it started in 1994. We're in 2009 now, so.
Well, but it started in 1969. The first two times two computers were put together. And we started in the internet effectively in 1986?
83, 84.
Well, in 83 I had an intranet. I was doing more than email.
Well, you were hooked up to the UUCP email.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was not really truly the internet, but that was a network of computers passing files across the world.
Yeah, we were saying.
And that has been subsumed. It's been taken over by a part of the internet.
But that was an internet as it was, because you had to spend $5,035 to buy a bloody modem.
But I just threw two of them out because they were rusty.
Oh, darn.
But
tax office wants to know where they are. My bankruptcy trustee.
I think they're old enough. They've probably been taken down.
Talking about that, you know about my $5 million bankruptcy, because you lived through it and helped me out significantly in there by providing Visa and MasterCard services, and American Express, I guess. Making the short story long, have you seen that deal about Peter Pocklington?
I have, yeah.
Peter Buck. Well, when I went bankrupt, of course, they put me through a third degree. They literally made me deal with the disposal of 20 cars that I'd had over a 20-year period.
Yep.
And
couldn't understand how you could have lost track of Cadillacs down
Mercedes
in the middle of
Lincolns
in the middle of North America, saying, "Well, I bought it, and it was cheaper to buy a car than it was to rent one for the week that I needed it."
Yeah.
And I just left it at the side of the road.
Well, that
was when you didn't insure the car. Then you insured the person, which I think we should do that again. But that's another thing.
Yeah, I had this wonderful, what the heck was the name, Black and Roberts, or Barton and Black, that's what it was, an insurance agency that had about 16 branches in Kelowna and so on, and Scott Simmons was the agent, and he sold me a policy that insured any car I had as long as I owned it and was licensed. Because again, we were talking about the number of people that drive.
That's right.
Anyway, you helped me, and I went through this special thing, and of course I have a warehouse full of stuff, as you know, and that's what they.
I think you're silly to keep paying on the warehouse.
Well,
but
they just
one
raised.
of these days they'll like it.
Well, they just raised the rent again, so I'm likely going to get rid of it. But it's hard to let go of that stuff. And I really, when we moved and filled up the warehouse, I thought I might be out opening up another office right now instead of working
10 or 15 offices,
or another 10 or 15.
What we did. I mean, I helped you close down a bunch, but before we closed them down, we hooked them all up together and had them all
right. Because altogether, at one time in the late 70s, before you showed up, I had 700 offices and
And spent
30
millions
states.
of dollars on computer facilities.
Millions of dollars. I figure I spent $5 million on computers.
But the internet today is so different from what it was when you and I grew up.
And this watch has got more power than and
I'm not wearing my Timex data watch, which had 8K of RAM and a little, video camera on it, and all sorts of interesting
Look,
stuff.
Susan's sitting over there, sort of laughing.
My 16 gigabyte iPhone over there, and totally different types of things. There's my iPhone.
Yeah. That's Mitchell holding that in. Mitchell's going to start doing a program too.
Good.
He wants to do something.
Yeah.
He's got all sorts of people from the Vancouver East Cultural Center, and
great.
And because of his deal with the Vancouver East Cultural Center, last March, I think it was a year ago March, he actually got sent down to Ottawa as one of Canada's finest young people. 1 of 39 were people from across Canada.
They don't know him very well, do
they? Don't know him very well. Well, I was actually quite funny because I don't remember, Mitchell.
Have they seen you do your zombie walk? That's what I want to know.
No.
Well, Mitchell does the zombie walk. He does the world's largest water fight. And
the pillow fight.
And 2 times now naked bungee jumping in Nanaimo.
Yes. Well, actually, we could play that. There's a DVD player there. We could play that.
Mitchell and his naked bungee jump. Yeah, anyway. And he also, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, and then he and Jane went skydiving. He went naked bungee jumping, and 3 weeks later they went skydiving.
They didn't do naked skydiving.
No, naked skydiving.
It's a little chilly at 10,000 feet.
Well, it's pretty chilly in the Nanaimo. It was snow on the ground.
Hey, there's snow on the ground now. It's April 1st.
Yeah, we should get a picture of there. Snow on the ground outside of this house in North Vancouver on April 1st, 2009. Well, I remember snow on April the 4th, and I remember the snow on April the 16th. So we've had it before.
We had
1981,
snow
we had snow on April
in
the
May.
4th.
It didn't stick, but
I don't remember snow in May.
Yes, it did. It was last year or the year before. I think it was last year.
I don't remember that. Must have just been.
It was
just was in the air.
It was in the air.
Like love.
Yeah.
Love is in the air. Okay. So let's get back.
We're going to have David Hancock on next week.
The Eagle Man.
The Eagle Man.
Well, the Eagle and ptarmigan and grouse and
David is directly responsible for me getting into doing video on the net, which is what we're doing now. I mean, understand, okay, my background includes doing television shows. I've done lighting, stage. I'm an electronics person. I'm trying really hard. I'm trying very hard to lose that technical side of me because I'm a marketing man, businessman. That's how I met Susan the second time, as we were doing some business together. And I have all these people who call on me to do technical things, which...
Well, yes, I do. You just brought a computer back for me, fixed it back tonight.
But what I'm doing for Hancock Wildlife Foundation is
amazing.
Marketing. What we're doing... For those of you who don't know what Hancock Wildlife Foundation is, when David Hancock first discovered this eagle nest camera up on Hornby Island... For that year, we basically ran everything out of Hancock
The man
House.
who's since died.
No. Huh?
No?
No. You're talking about Doug Carrick? No. He's still alive.
Okay.
No. That's that.
Okay.
I don't know where you got that from.
I've got a cross-reference.
Yeah. You missed there something. But David Hancock discovered this guy.
Well, he was doing an eagle talk.
When he was doing a talk up in Campbell River, I believe it was, and he went over to Hornby Island and phoned me from Hornby Island and said, "There's this camera there, and can we get it up on the internet?" Because at that time he figured, there might be 50 or 100 people throughout the world that would be interested in
eagle
doing
specialist would like to see it.
In doing some scientific research without having to climb the trees. That's what he's
in his years of doing it, he saw stuff on that eagle cam that he'd never seen.
Yeah.
Years of
studying
eagles.
Laying an egg.
That's right.
Grunting and laying an egg. But anyway, so he's directly responsible for me getting into the large way into the video parts of things.
Because
back when Susan and I were in the same business together, that was actually video on the internet as well. We were in the process of creating facilities for live, or not live, but video advertising on drink machines.
Yeah, okay. You walk up to the drink machine, the Coke machine.
And
there's a video.
One of the people that I brought into that was somebody I've known for almost as long as you, maybe even longer.
Maybe longer.
A chap by the name of Ed Clun, who has, for many years, he's been doing live streaming video, but for video conferencing. And I ran into him again. In fact, we live about 3 blocks from each other in Pitt Meadows. And I ran into him again and got working with him again.